Blessings, greetings to everyone. This is our first session after the end of the annual rains retreat, the Vasa. So it's a good time to start or to continue teaching and practicing. Because sometimes people think after a retreat it's time to quit the practice and do all kinds of other things, but we shouldn't forget our regular meditation practice, keeping precepts, listening to the Dhamma. That's something we are aiming to do all year round. So we'll begin this session as usual with some quiet meditation. So please find a comfortable posture. This morning at the monastery, a young boy wanted to learn how to meditate. Meditation is something you can do at any age, whether you're just a young schoolboy or girl, in your youth, middle age, old age. While we're alive, while we're still breathing, we can meditate. As our teacher, Lumpur Cha, used to say, if you can still breathe, then you can still practice mindfulness, you can still meditate. So as we're sitting here, take note of your sitting posture. Spend a few moments sending your attention up to the crown of the head, down through your body to your legs and to your feet. And try to settle your own body, but also just notice how you're feeling, whether you're feeling strong, comfortable in your own body, whether you're feeling tired, or you may even have some illness or pains, or you may feel very neutral, or you may feel quite relaxed and comfortable. But just notice how you're feeling as you pass your attention up to the crown of the head and down to your feet. And you're taking a few moments just to bring your attention inwards through the sense doors as you meditate. The Buddha called the six senses doorways. The different sense objects come in through these doorways. That's the five external senses, the eyes, the ears, the nose, the tongue and the skin, and the internal sense of the mind. So some of the visitors to these doorways are pleasant sensations and objects. Some of them are unpleasant or painful. But your job is to know what's coming in and out of your mind, or to your mind, through the sense doors. And sometimes to reduce the amount of sense impingement or information coming your way. Which is why when we meditate, we try to find a reasonably quiet, secluded place, because it cuts out some of the distractions. And generally, although not absolutely essential, we close our eyes, which will immediately cut off sights, which is a huge part of the sense data or the visitors that come to the mind through the eye doorway. So we are minimizing the activity of our senses when we meditate. We're not completely cutting it out, but we are limiting it or restraining it, which helps the mind to be more composed and settle down. Less distraction, disturbance, less temptation. But of course, as you meditate, say on the breathing, following the feeling of the in and out breath, as we've practice many times, you still have a mind that's active. And if you reduce the inputs coming in from your external physical senses, of course the mind itself will become more prominent in your experience and what you know. Which is why most people say that when they try to meditate, they get caught into endlessly thinking. They think a lot, or think too much. Actually, to just sit still with your eyes closed, putting effort into being mindful of the in and out breath is already quite an achievement for anyone. It's not easy to sit still for a period of time. It's not easy to put effort onto knowing the in and out breath. It's quite a subtle, refined kind of knowing. And so if you're putting effort into practicing that, knowing your in and out breath, by practicing meditation regularly, this is a very special thing, very good thing. And it will lead on to all kinds of special knowledge. You'll notice as you spend more time being with the in and out breath and that feeling or sensation, knowing it, being aware of it, you'll spend less time with all the distractions and the different sense objects you're normally caught up in. And this will bring its own pleasant feeling, body and mind relax a bit, feel more calm, stable, steady. And if you continue practicing, at some point you might reach what we call one-pointedness of mind. When the mind becomes very still, centered on the breathing, just knowing that the breath's going in and the breath is going out. And it becomes still because it's just knowing one thing. And it's letting go of everything else. And we can achieve that through practice. Observing, consciously putting an effort into being mindful of the breathing, letting go of other things. And occasionally you might even find the mind becomes very still, one-pointed, just knowing itself. So Ajahn Chah, our teacher, coined that phrase, still forest pool. So when the mind settles down with the breath, and you're mindful, aware, awake, peaceful, during that period, your mind becomes very still, clear, content. It's like a still forest pool. It has a certain attractive quality to it. So if you have a forest pool like we do in our monastery, we have a big forest here with a few different pools in the forest. If you meditate at those pools, sooner or later animals come along, birds and animals come along and drink the water, because all creatures need water. And if you're very quiet, you might see many different things coming through the forest to use the water. And Ajahn Chah noted that, and he said it's like your mind, when it becomes still, you get to see many new things that you've never seen before. Many of those things will be beautiful and interesting to you. Some of the states of mind that arise when your mind is still and peaceful are very beautiful, very satisfying, because they are arising internally, accompanied by pleasant feeling, quietness of mind, stillness of mind. And also this can support insight, or clear vision of the way things are. You may gain new kinds of wisdom, understanding as you discern different experiences from this peaceful mind, this state of stillness. So he compared the still, peaceful, one-pointed mind to a still forest pool. So as you keep practicing at this time, just keep putting effort into knowing the in-breath, the out-breath, that sensation at the tip of your nose maybe, if that's what you're used to. Try and pick up the feeling and keep coming back to it and letting go of other things until you hear the sound of the bell.